Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm so glad to practice with you today. We're going to run our regular style of class, or is it an Ashtanga-based class? We'll start with standing postures and move into sitting postures, back bends, and rest. But we're going to pepper it with a lot of Navasana, core worky kind of thing. So come to the front of your mat and just root your heels down, lift all 10 toes up. Bring your palms to center. Place them flat on the floor. Draw the pubic bone in, tailbone down, and fix your gaze on the horizon. Widen across your back. Draw your shoulders behind you. And find that slight smile in the corners of your mouth. Bringing yourself toward an inward turn. Now, there's so much external to deal with in everybody's life. What if your ears could turn inward now? Your internal life. We'll practice Ujjayi Pranayama through this hour-long practice. So inhale through the nose. Exhale also through the nose. Inhale through the nose. It keeps a sense of stillness and begins to build heat in the body. Reach your arms up. Maybe gaze your drishti, gaze downward. Take your triceps toward the ears and reach them back behind you while zipping up the ribs. So we're not trying to puff everything out or drop everything forward. We're drawing the navel in, and maybe the eyes travel up. Exhale, fold in half, swan dive forward, hands come toward the floor. They can lay on your feet, your shins, take you behind, or all the way to the floor. Inhale, we'll just practice a few of those just to warm up. And reach the palms down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Hands come toward the floor. Inhale to that halfway point. Really draw the navel in, the pubic bone, and come on up to standing. Palms in. Last time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. This time, keep the back lifted. Bend the knees. So walk your right leg back. Walk it in and back and in. Same as the left. Trying to keep your hips really even. Inwardly rotate the thighs as you walk them both back and then come all the way to the floor. Draw your shoulders back, elbows in. Lift your heart on your chest. Gaze at the nose. And then maybe you lift into upward dog. So it just requires a little bit more belly strength here, arm strength, and some flexibility. Come into cat-cow. So cat-cow, you want to set yourself up. Hands underneath your shoulders. Lift the hips, eyes toward the nose, and exhale. Lift the hips and exhale. Lift the hips, tuck the toes under downward facing dog. So in your first downward dog of the day or the week or the month, be kind to yourself. If your knees need to bend or heels are off the floor, no big deal. Maybe they straighten, but not at the expense of locking out the legs. We always want to keep a slight bend in the knees. Triceps are away from the ears, shaking your head. And then again, finding your inward turn, some stillness. Inhale, bend the knees, look to the hands, bend the knees deeply, and maybe you think about jumping. So just the think is just a little bit forward, and then maybe you walk the feet forward. Inhale, heart lifts, chest lifts, shoulders back, lift the kneecaps, fold in half. And for this first one of the day, roll on up. So roll from the navel right away. Arms lift. Now notice I'm trying not to release the hips forward in this big back bend. Just draw the pubic bone up, tailbone down, and keep the ribs all zipped up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hands come toward the floor. Inhale, bend the knees. Again, for the belly, let's just walk the right leg back 3 times. And in, and then the left leg. Trying to focus your attention so much in the center line so that if and when you ever do want to jump back into chaturanga, it becomes sort of a natural progression of that same. Knees lift, chest up, downward facing dog. Eyes travel to the navel. Your drishti on your navel. 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out through the nose, heels lift, bend the knees and walk or jump your feet forward. Inhale, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up. And hands down. Last time, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold in half, hands toward the floor. Inhale, exhale, gaze past the mat. This time, either reach your feet back right into plank, or maybe you just experiment with a little bit of a jump into chaturanga. If that brings you all the way to the floor, no big deal. You can take cobra here, or you can peel the heart up to the sky, the knees off the floor, upward dog, downward facing dog. Eyes travel again to the navel. Breathe here. 1, 2, shoulders away from the ears. 3, 4, 5. Before we switch sides, or switch into Surya Namaskar B, I should say, let's come onto our left knee. Left wrist engages with the left shoulder. Peel the right arm up to the sky. Supported Vashisthasana, just to open the right side of the body. In and out through the nose. I don't know about you, but during this quarantine, I've noticed my waist has a lot more pain to it. I have to spend a lot of time releasing the muscles of the waist. Might be all the sitting I'm doing. Stretch your right arm out behind you and back up to the center. Inhale into plank for 5. Draw the belly in. 4, 3. Fire up the thighs. 2, 1. Come onto the right knee. Take the moment to walk the right hand in underneath the shoulder. Left arm up. Shoulders in line. Maybe you draw the left arm behind you. Breathe there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and exhale. Come into plank. 5. Inward rotation of the flat thighs. 3, 2, 1. Downward dog. Walk the feet to the hands. And right away, chair position. Exhale, hands to the floor, nose toward the knees. Inhale, heart lifts, chest lifts. Bend the knees now, hands flat, walk your feet into plank. Bend the elbows, upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Let's turn the left foot on its side, take the right foot through the hands, just for a moment as you set yourself up, heel to heel line up. Pause with the arms behind you, airplane arms. This gives you a moment to regroup. Possibly your right hip has traveled forward. See what you could do to travel it back. Left hip is sort of forward, right hip is back. You can gauge this with your hands manually and then allow yourself to come up into Warrior One. So keep scooching your right hip back, arms up overhead, ribs in, maybe the eyes travel up. Exhale, come into your push-up position, into plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the elbows, chaturanga, if you can. You can come to your knees if you need to. Roll up into upward facing dog. Allow your heart to shine up there. Downward dog. And then we take the left foot through. So give yourself the moment to set yourself up. Right foot turns on its side. Left knee is coming into the heart. Draw your arms behind you, this airplane arms. Inhale. Warrior one. Eyes up, breathe there. You get a nice stretch in the right hip flexor. 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Through plank. Bend the elbows. Upward facing dog or cobra. And right away into downward facing dog. Eyes travel to the navel. 2, 3, 4, heels heavy. 5. We're going to take the right foot through the hands. Come on to the left knee and the left hand. Give yourself a little twist here. So I'm pressing my right thigh with my right hand, left hand's at the floor. And then I'm going to find crescent pose with a twist here. So hips are trying to be square. You know, there's a little bit of dancing that goes on, but try not to let the right hip lift too much. So draw it down. Left knee is straight, left heel's off the floor. Left hand on the floor in line with the left shoulder. Now the right arm's going to reach up. Notice the inclination to kind of come out of alignment. Keep maybe the right elbow drawing against the right thigh as you breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can't stack the right leg on top of the left. Vashisthasana. If you need to be down on the left knee, that's fine. 2. A little bit of a dance. 3. Flex the feet a whole lot. 4, 5. Come into plank. Bend the elbows. And up dog. Shine that chest forward. Downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe there. Downward dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the left foot through the hands. Drop onto the right knee. Give yourself a twist there. Let it feel good on the right hip. Yeah. And then tuck the right toe under. Crescent twist. Left arm to the sky. Breathe there. Keep the right hip lifted a bit. Stack your right foot, the pinky toe side. Left foot on top. Breathe. If the balance is better with the gaze downward, so be it. Possibly it travels to the center. Maybe the drishti, the gaze, travels all the way up to the left fingertips. We don't know until we try. Exhale into plank. Bend the elbows, pause. Roll up over the toes, upward dog, downward dog. So again, a word about up dog and cobra. Until it feels like you can really lift the knees without too much trouble. So in this position, if you're slouching, it's going to start to hurt and have some repercussions that won't be worthwhile. So cobra is always a better plan to start. All right, so if we need a reset, you can also take cat-cow, downward facing dog, walk or jump the feet forward. Let's find chair. 2, 3, 4, 5. Palms together. Draw the shoulders away. Lift the pubic bone. Drop the tailbone. And get yourself steady. Inward turn. Exhale. Come out into triangle pose. Trikonasana. So feet are slightly wider than the hips. Turn both toes to the back of your mat or the back of your space. Shift your hips to the left. Right hand goes toward the right knee. Just pause for a moment. Even if you know you can just pop into triangle pose, give yourself a second to regroup. So what does it mean to take the left hip back? What does it mean to really reach toward the right toe, ankle, without letting the left hip and left shoulder draw all the way down? Keep it back. Lift the left arm to the sky. Maybe the right hand travels toward the right big toe. And then there's a dance, yeah. The left hip, rib, and breathe there. 2, 3, 4. We're trying just not to let this too much happen. So the dance is opening and being sort of smart about your anatomy. Turn the toes to the left, shift your hips to the right, and then don't assume that one side is going to be the same as the other. Take the left hand to the left knee and poke about for a moment. Inhale and exhale. Maybe massage out the right waist. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lift the kneecaps. Maybe reach the left hand further toward the left toe. Ankle, shin. Block, if you have a block, this is a great opportunity to use it. Inhale, the full expression would take the gaze, the drishti, up to the right fingertips. And again, the right hip goes forward and back. Inhale, come on up to standing. Right away, warrior 2. So it's a little bit wider stance. Right knee over the right heel, reach the arms out. Inhale, right hand all the way to the floor. The right knee engaging with the right forearm, left arm overhead. Now, if you have a block, you want to take your right hand to the block, great. If you want to keep the left hand behind you, because you're working on some stretch in the left side body, fantastic plan. Let this be your practice today. I'll be the guide. But if you pause in some spot because your body is calling you for it today, let that have merit. Let that be real for you. Eyes over the left fingertips now. Left knee bends over the heel. Right pinky toe is your force guiding you into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you take the left elbow. Pause at the left knee. In and out through the nose. Space in the right hip. Space in the right shoulder, the right waist. Give yourself the strength in that belly so that you can take the left hand to the floor. Maybe the right arm all the way overhead. Lean back a little bit. Forcefully locating the eyes at the right fingers, no matter what the expression is, and come on up. So Hatha yoga is actually yoga of force. It's not like mellow hangout yoga, which is lovely, but Hatha yoga means we're yoking, we're forcing all these extremes, these opposites together. So here you go, you have the expression of release, and then here's the force as you take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. How can you take it with some force and some ease at the same time? That dance, that struggle is in every spot of our lives, hopefully, to teach us. So my left hand is at the floor, right arm is over the ear. If your left hand doesn't go to the floor, that's fine. You can pause with both hands together. Either way, we're in a twist. Windmill the arms. The right arm goes down. The left arm comes up. Straighten the legs for half a sec. And then you'll turn and face the other side. So left knee is bent over the heel. Belly is pulled in. Tailbone down. Right pinky toe glued to the floor. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then you can either stack the palms, if that's where it needs to stay. It's totally fine. Or keep incorporating. I'm going to open my right foot a little bit wider. And then the lower you can get on this right shoulder blade, and it may take some coaxing. The right hand can then go to the floor. The left arm overhead. And the full expression is a twist. So yes, the hips come out of alignment a little bit, but remind them to also move into the center line. So the twist is a little bit more in the upper back than the hips. Windmill the arms, inhale, come on up. And regroup to Samastitihi, to the sense of firm middle awareness in the center. Breathe. Standing with a dignified spine, gaze maybe out in front of you. Take the right leg behind you, hands to the waist. Left leg in front, both legs are straight, heels are in line. Inhale, exhale, let's just pause over the left thigh here. Try to keep your shoulders squared, draw the pubic bone in, the tailbone down, and then maybe you go a little bit deeper. Keep your hands either there, or possibly you take reverse namaste, this prayer position behind your back. The gaze of the drishti is over the left toes. Notice the tendency to draw the right hip to the sky. Try to keep it down. We'll bend the left knee a whole lot. Draw the pubic bone in, tailbone down. So we're always taking from behind the abdomen. Maybe we find Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So if you have a block, you'll want it to prep it, of course, and your hand might be on the block. Otherwise, it's a little claw. Flex your right foot a whole lot. Then possibly, you stack the right shoulder on top of the left. Possibly, the right arm might go to the sky. We don't know. We gotta just experiment, but we don't know. Right foot super flexed. Then I'm gonna take both hands to the floor and maybe practice some standing splits. So while you're in standing splits, regroup, see what's going on in the belly. Maybe you experiment with some balance, holding your left ankle. Maybe not. Maybe both hands go to the floor. Either way, you can't really fall there, so you're good to go. The counter pose might be to bend the right knee, let the left foot flex to the sky. Inhale, bend both feet. Come on up to standing in sort of a Samastitihi, but with the feet spread. Finding again your center of stillness, which is your energy force, which is your own personal sort of bank. You can draw from your energy there. Turn both toes to the other way now. So my right foot's in front. My left foot is sort of, warrior two, like separated to the side. Heels are in line. It's more warrior one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, keep your hands at the waist first. And if you had your block over there, you'll want to set it up on the outside of the right pinky toe now. Keep your hips real squared. Breathe there too. Possibly you take your hands behind you. Now I have an injury on the right hip that I'm nursing, so I keep my right knee bent. Definitely bend the front leg either way if you know you lock yourself out. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Eyes are past the toes. 4. Try to keep the shoulders square and drawn back. Try to keep the hips even. Exhale, release the right hand from the equation. Take it to the floor. Left foot flexes so super much. It's a real Sanskrit turn, so super much. Left foot flexed, left hand to the sky. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And come on out through the center. Turn the toes in, heels out. Prasarita Padmottanasana. Inhale. Yogi's hands of choice. You can have your hands in the center. You can hold the big toes. Let the elbows bend out to the sides. And if you need to bend something here, because you don't want to lock it out, your knees are a good choice. Breathe 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hands to the floor. Turn the toes out. We'll take this big squat. Of course, this is an excellent time for the gardener to come. So I hope it won't be too distracting. Elbows out. We practice on and off our mats, right? Inhale, left hand to the floor. Open the right knee with the right hand. Back to the center. And change sides. Back to the center. We're gonna practice Bakasana and Bhujipadasana for a moment. So, hands to the floor, right elbow to the right shin, left elbow to left shin. The closer you can get your chest to the floor, the better off you are. Then we're gonna experiment. So shifting your weight onto the heel of the palms of the hands. Maybe you lift up so much away from like a big beach ball, and the breath pulls you into balance. So if you notice yourself rushing when you find yourself into any arm balance specifically, it's probably gonna have a less lasting effect on the ability to balance. If your head is too low or your tush is too high, you know, we gotta be in balance and you have to be patient with it. So maybe you lift the right foot. Maybe you draw the navel further in toward the spine, really round it, breathe, breathe, breathe. And then you can do anything from here. You could jump into Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet. I'm gonna jump my feet around my hands now for Bhujipadasana. So Bhujipadasana is a little bit different in that the chest has to get a little bit more flexible. So I draw my hands all the way back, shift the weight of the whole pose into the heels of my hands, and then I lift my heart, lift my chest, possibly I cross the feet. And that lock of those feet together allows me to find my stillness, my balance. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna come out right into Navasana boat pose. Breathe here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift the hips off the floor. Number 2, breathe here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift the hips. Only 3 more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. Lift up. And 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift up. And last time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flap on down. Strict Shavasana keeps your eyes open, but your body has this moment to regroup. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inwardly turn your thighs. Lift the right leg off the floor. Maybe grab hold of your big toe. You can use a strap, of course, a towel, a tie from your robe. Lift your chest toward the right thigh. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lie down. Let the right leg open to the right. If you need to bend the right knee a little bit, so be it. We're trying not to lift the left hip off the floor though. So much better to bend the right knee and keep the left leg straight and underneath you. 2, 3, 4, 5. To the center. Take the left hand, hold the outside of the right foot. Draw the right arm to the floor and let it cross the body. Inhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3. So I was just giving my right hip a little massage, letting it know I care about it. Maybe a little pummel. And then get your right shoulder to stay back on the mat. Take both legs to the center. What'll I come, reverse crunches Jane Fonda's. That's what I recall them as. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the right leg down, left leg up. And again, I'm practicing my own inner stillness with the obstacles on the outside. I planned it this way, for sure. Inhale, lift the heart and the chest. How do I breathe and do what I need to do amidst all the noise, all the obligations outside of me? Stay accountable for my own breathing, my own stillness. Inhale, lie down. Take the left leg open to the left, gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe massage out the right hip and the waist. 2, 3, 4, 5. Through the center, let it cross the body. Inhale. Let the left shoulder really reach the floor. You get all sorts of good cracks out of it, I hope. And both legs back to the center, hips up. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Inhale. 1, shoulders down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Another inner thigh stretch. Let's take happy baby pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll take pigeon right here. So the right heel over the left knee. I first take my right hand and press my right knee open to really get some space in the hip. And then take the right arm through that little window. Flex your feet a whole lot. Breathe there. 2, 3. Letting the stillness of the outside now augment, match the stillness of the inside. 4, 5. Exhale, change sides. Left heel over the right knee. Setting yourself up. So first press the left knee away from the ear. Flexing the right foot so much. And then maybe through the little window, hug the knees in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reminding yourself that anything can happen at any time. Both legs up the wall, the proverbial wall. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you reach yourself all the way up to shoulder stand. The work in shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, is to maybe shift both legs left and right so that you can reach your elbows closer in, palms flat on the small of the back. Inhale, and then just notice, have your toes reached far behind your head or in front of your head? Where can they be? Right in the center, in line with the hips. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. In and out through the nose to deepen your breath. And then maybe you come out onto your prop, couch, bed, ottoman, or take the toes all the way behind your head. Halasana. Floating on down into Matsyasana, fish pose. So you come to the crown of the head, big chest opener. Either the legs stay on the floor or they can lift up. Palms touch, breathe there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Flop on down to Shavasana. So make yourself comfortable. Make your position nurturing. And by that I mean, see how many parts of your body you can experience on the floor, on the mat, on the carpet, wherever you might be practicing. How can you feel your heels heavier, your calves? Even something in the back of your knees, your thighs, your buttocks, your hips, small of the back, somewhere in both of your ribs, both sides of your ribs. Your thoracic spine, your shoulder blades, your shoulders themselves, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arm, your knuckles as your palms have just a natural open gesture toward the sky. And then again, where else can you practice peace, quiet, contentedness amidst all the noise and the pressure and the wanting? Where else can you find your own harness, stability, and quiet? Even if you only have a few moments for rest, it's important to give it to yourself. What we practice grows stronger. So if we practice rest, we can take that same sense of rest into our day, into our obligations, into all that we choose and that we don't choose. We can always find choice when we find first the stillness to listen. So wiggle your fingers and your toes, hug your knees in, turn yourself out onto the right side, just maybe your last vestiges of me time for a moment. Enjoy it, hug yourself into the center line, using your hands to help you push yourself up to sitting, and then maybe you find some space with your plant, your little Shiva, against a wall, just to sort of, again, give you some stillness as you move into your day. Rubbing the palms, keeping them at your heart center. May you find peace inside and outside, above you, below you, to your left and to your right, so you can access this peace on your own time and use it to the full force as you move in through example. Thank you so much. Namaste.